Today we'll be making edible slime with some help from Neo and Tyler. You will need a tablespoon measure, a pot, some food coloring, cornstarch, and condensed milk. You will also need a baking tray, parchment paper, a mixing bowl, and a spatula. After you have all the supplies, make sure you have these things: an adult to help you, eye protection, a well-ventilated area, and a fire extinguisher on hand. Start by pouring a tin of condensed milk into the pot. Make sure you have an adult help you for all of the parts on the stove. Stir your mixture up. Now add cornstarch, 1 tablespoon at a time. Whisk it in and continue to do this until your mixture thickens. Once your slime looks like this, it's ready to go. Line a tray with parchment paper, and then dust it with cornstarch. Get an adult to help you pour your slime onto the tray, and then wait to make sure it fully cools. Once it's cooled, you can cut up your slime into individual pieces. Now it's time for the fun part! First up, knead in cornstarch until your slime is your desired thickness. The more cornstarch you add, the less sticky it will feel. Be sure to stretch and play with your slime as you do this. Next up, add food coloring. And knead your slime again to mix it. Once you're happy with the color of your slime, it's time to taste it. So how does this work? Your edible slime is actually a non-Newtonian fluid. Non-Newtonian fluids act as both solids and liquids at the same time. You might recognize this word from making oobleck. If you haven't seen our oobleck video, make sure you check it out in the description below. Now let's learn how our edible slime is actually a non-Newtonian fluid. Our first ingredient to our slime was condensed milk. This acted as our base. Then we added in cornstarch. But the cornstarch didn't dissolve in our solution. Instead, it formed a colloidal suspension. This means that the cornstarch was mixed into the condensed milk, but it wasn't dissolved. We noticed that the more cornstarch we added, the less it acted like a liquid. How can we explain that? Let's imagine that each piece of cornstarch in the mixture is a passenger on a bus. The bus turns a corner suddenly, pushing all of the passengers or pieces of cornstarch over to one side. All of a sudden, you have 2 different situations. One where the passengers are tightly packed, and the other where they're loosely packed. The passengers then all begin to hold on to what's around them for support. These bonds then determine if it acts as a solid or a liquid. In the tightly packed area, there's so much for you to hold on to that you act like a solid, and in the loosely packed area, you act as a liquid. This difference between areas of tight cornstarch packing and loose cornstarch packing is what allows our slime to both be stretched as well as rolled. Now it's your turn to play around and see what you can do with your edible slime. Have so much fun, and I hope you learned a little bit more about non-Newtonian fluids and slime. If you make your own edible slime, be sure to tag me in your pictures at STEM_files on Instagram. Thanks for watching, please subscribe, like, and share.